if you wanted to silence all of the noise, if you wanted to stop all of the criticism, if you wanted people to just say like, okay, maybe we were wrong, you beat Ohio State.
First up, we've got Penn State, Illinois. We're going to go through each of the games. Well, we got 3 games. First up, Penn State, Illinois. We got 5 minutes for each game.
Looking for some bigger prey. They're hungry for that bigger win, and this could be it. If they can take down Penn State. I said, nevertheless. Why did I say I said?
The former 3rd string, now 2nd string quarterback. And people on Twitter are talking. Should he be the starter now?
Underneath, intercepted. Michigan, Will Johnson jumped the route, cross forward, and has it at the 5-yard line.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Big Ten Team Rivalry. This is our Michigan Chatter show, where we talk about all things Michigan football. I am Cliff. I am your host. With me, as always, is Blue the Wonder Mac. How are you, Mac?
That just popped into your head. Just went for it. You wrote it down.
I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget.
So you took time and brain cells to think about that?
I did, and it hurt.
All right.
But I came up with it. Now I've got 2. I'm going to keep a catalog.
Okay. Well, I was doing good, but now I'm concerned.
Thank you to everybody for watching. Welcome to the show. Thank you to everybody for subscribing. Thanks for sharing and talking and commenting and liking and all that good stuff. We appreciate it. We wanted to get into on this show. We're not going to talk too much about the whole sign stealing investigation. Sounds like people are getting pretty tired of that, even though there's been some new news on that. We'll touch on that a little bit. Mainly what we want to talk about is the Michigan OSU game. And Michigan has, at this point, three-peated against Ohio State. Yeah, that's 3 in a row for Michigan, in not only 2 of them at home, 1 of them at Ohio State. This one, of course, was at home. And they did it with essentially one hand tied behind their back, without Harbaugh on the sidelines, with all of the investigation stuff hanging over their heads. And it was a fantastic game, too. I did not expect it to be this close. I was predicting something on the order of, I think I said 45-17, somewhere around there. I thought for sure Michigan was gonna walk away with this at some point. That was not the case, but that's okay. This was a much better game.
Your best offensive lineman is Zach Zinter. He gets a little movement. Then Bredesen, the fullback, 44. He comes in, finishes off Tommy.
What I wanted to ask you, Mac, just to bring this to an actual question and a conversation, is, does this game, and I know that a lot of people have been talking about, there's that joke out there, well, has Michigan finally played anybody? But does this game validate Michigan's schedule? Does it validate, does it validate everything? Does this validate that they won because they're good, not because they did anything wrong that's being alleged, but does this validate Michigan?
Yes, it does. It does, because Ohio State fans, Ohio State, all of the noise, the whole reason this started, the sign stealing investigation, the Chris Partridge getting fired, the issue with Connor Stallions, all of that. The reason this started is because Ohio State hired the PI firm to look into it. So all of the noise was started because of Ohio State, and kept going because of Ohio State fans and Michigan State fans saying, oh, Michigan cheated. The only reason Michigan has won the past 2 years is because they had sign stealing. Everybody freaking sign steals. Everybody is sending somebody to go scout other teams. And it sounds like there's actually some credence to the rumor that Ohio State illegally obtained practice footage from this. I can't remember what the company is called, but
Catapult.
They were Catapult. So that is actually illegal, and that is actually for scouting a team. So they really shouldn't have been talking, but whatever, that'll come out whenever it comes out. But here's the thing, Michigan, if you wanted to silence all of the noise, if you wanted to stop all of the criticism, if you wanted people to just say like, okay, maybe we were wrong, you beat Ohio State. You did it without your head coach. You did it without your sign stealer. You did it with losing your starting right guard, Zach Zinner, midway through the third quarter, or I think late in the third quarter, totally demoralizing the team for about 20 seconds until the fans started getting super loud in the stadium and totally lifting the team back up. And then they score a touchdown on the next play. They had so much adversity. It was crazy. And they still beat Ohio State. And dude, hats off to Ohio State, because like all season long, we were like, holy crap, is this team actually any good? I mean, they beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame turned out to be not who we thought they were. They beat Penn State. Michigan then ended up beating Penn State too, and Penn State struggled in some games since. Maybe they weren't who we thought they were. No, I think Ohio State is exactly, or actually isn't really who we thought they were, because they looked shaky all season long. I think that they are actually a great team. I think their defense is vastly improved. Their offense is very dynamic, and they still have some weapons. Not as many as they used to, but they're still a great offense. Kyle McCord, I understand he threw the 2 interceptions. One of them cost him 7 points, and the other one cost him the game. He's a great quarterback, and he just needs a little bit of development, and he'll be fine next year. Michigan was just better and proved it by beating them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that totally validates everything. And now Michigan has a chance. There are people saying that Michigan has a really good chance of winning the national title, and I think that is a thing that could happen, because Georgia looks as dominant as ever. Their schedule is probably just as shaky as Michigan's. I mean, with certain exceptions, but seriously, I mean, people for some reason have been getting on Georgia for a bad schedule. I don't really know. I don't know SEC ball, but anyway, I'm going off on a tangent here. But yeah, it totally validates Michigan.
Coverage, and the coverage just cannot get over the top. Great job of Emeka Egbuka getting full speed, getting out of the pylon.
You want to look at some of the stats from the game? Just going down the list, first downs, you've got 22 for Ohio State and only 18 for Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
That's how tight that was. Third down conversions, 4 and 9 for Ohio State, but 3 and 12 for Michigan. The better one is the fourth down conversions. Ohio State had 0 for 0, and Michigan was 3 for 3. So they converted every single fourth down. That's got to be demoralizing to a defense.
It is. It very much is, yeah.
Passing yards, we're looking at 271 for Ohio State and 182 for Michigan. But yards per pass is 9 for Ohio State and 8.7 for Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit tighter there. And then, of course, Kyle McCord threw 2 interceptions. The rushing stats are the opposite. So rushing yards, you've got 107 for Ohio State, but 156 for Michigan. But I'm amazed at the yards per rush, though, are pretty tight. 3.8 for Ohio State and 4 for Michigan.
Yeah, Ohio State, I think, was forced into more situations where they had to pass, because Michigan was bottling them up pretty good at the line of scrimmage. But the other, I mean, I guess like it's weird to think about, because like Ohio State was moving the ball fairly efficiently. But they definitely wanted to pass the ball more, which I don't think really worked out to their strength. I think they would have actually done a little bit better had they run the ball more and worn down Michigan's defense. But they put the game essentially on Kyle McCord's shoulders.
Right.
And what was his passing percentage? So he's 18 for 30. Yeah, so they had 58 plays in this game, and 30 of them were put on Kyle McCord's shoulders, and he only, I mean, he hit 18 of them. That's not bad. And most of them were to Marvin Harrison Jr. or Emeka Egbuka. So the weapons kind of bailed him out. I guess I don't understand why they didn't run a little bit more, though, because they could have worn Michigan out at that point.
But Michigan was able to shut down Maserati Marv there.
Yeah.
I mean, going across the board there, I mean, Ohio State only had 1 touchdown per quarter, except for the first quarter where they only had a field goal.
Mm-hmm. That said, I like how shutting Marvin Harrison Jr. down still means that he gets 118 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
The guy is just so good.
Yeah.
He's so much fun to watch when he's not playing Michigan, but
Yep.
he's really good.
Yeah. What was I going to say? The other was time of possession, which goes along with the rushing
Mhm.
yards. What was the stat that in the last 22 games of the game, the last 22 meetings, it's
Mhm.
been the rushing yards that have determined the one who has the most rushing yards is the team that won.
Yep.
So Michigan had the most
one.
rushing yards, which also accounts for the time of possession, with Michigan
Mhm.
at 33 minutes 28 seconds, Ohio State 26 minutes 32 seconds. Obviously,
Well,
the more you run the ball, the more you run the clock.
it was also that final drive that really, I think that final drive that Michigan had that really broke things open, because like they had been moving the ball. They scored the touchdown with Blake Corum after Zach Zinner got injured. But that final drive took 7 minutes off the clock and then forced Ohio State to have to move quickly.
Yeah.
And that's probably where the interception was really going to be born from. So you're putting Kyle McCord into a low percentage situation where he's got to make very quick decisions, and that's one thing that he's not really good at right now. And he can definitely get there. Like, again, he's a great quarterback. Please go easy on the kid. This was his first year starting.
Yeah.
But that was really smart by Michigan. That was really well handled by Michigan because they were able to control the line of scrimmage in that last drive, and it's because they relied heavily on the rush, which a lot of people said that they weren't going to be able to do. For the second year in a row, people are saying Michigan's not going to be able to run the ball on Ohio State, and they did it last year, and they did it again this year. It wasn't as flashy this year, but that last drive was like basically all rushes and took 7.5 minutes off the clock.
Right.
That's perfect.
But you're right. That last drive is what made me nervous, because when Michigan got down there and all they got out of it was a field goal, and then you still had, what was it, a minute and a half left on the clock? 2 minutes?
Yeah, something like that. I think it was less than a minute and a half.
Less than a minute and a half. I
Just
was getting
under.
pretty nervous, and you were okay with it, but I think that's why, like what you just said, that they forced Ohio State into having to move faster than they were prepared to move,
Mhm.
because they haven't really had a speedy offense this season. At least
No.
I think. I'm just going off of what I've seen. I haven't necessarily looked at the stats on it, but yeah, I think you're right. They got into that speed move. They got into a movement that was too fast for them, and that caused Kyle McCord to make another mistake.
Mhm. And to their credit, they were actually doing pretty good there for a minute. Like
Yeah.
they made it. They made it.
They made a couple of big plays and got to the other end of the field.
Yeah, they made it to I think the Michigan 45 or 46. And
Yeah,
still
the
had.
interception was on closer to the 30.
Yeah, but the play started, I think, at the 45. It was going to be a pretty big pass if they had hit it.
Okay.
Yeah. But like, so I guess to their credit, let's see real quick here. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, they actually made it to okay, here we go. Yep, okay. Sorry. So 1st and 10 at the Michigan 37. Goodness, ESPN's thing here doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I think it was, so the play took place at the Michigan 37. And at that point, they had 25 seconds left on the clock. So they had time for a couple of plays there, especially if they're pass plays.
Right.
So they had a good drive. They made it all the way to the Michigan 37.
Mm-hmm.
So to their credit, they were doing pretty good there.
Malik Hartford 25 and Denzel Burke. Great coverage, but watch this ball goes right between them.
JJ at his press conference was talking about that pass that we were just screaming about, the one that you threaded the needle there between the two guys.
Yeah, the Roman Wilson touchdown.
Yeah, and what was it, number 25 or 75 on Ohio State? JJ said he had been watching film on him all season, and he noticed that when that guy keeps his eye on the quarterback, he's a problem. But when he turns slightly towards the receiver, that's when he loses contact. And JJ actually watched for that And when he saw the guy do that, that's when he zipped the ball to Roman Wilson.
Yeah, so that play was
To be
calculated.
that aware to know
Yeah.
that guy is going to turn his head slightly, and that's when you throw the ball.
Yeah.
That's just fantastic.
An amazing bit of psychology
Yep.
that happens within what, 3 seconds?
Yep.
I mean, that's crazy. But it's what's really interesting is that like people saying, "Oh, JJ got lucky with that throw." No, he meant to do that.
No.
Are you kidding me about that? Like, dude.
Yeah. I know.
That's
That's
insane.
impressive. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Tom breaks a tackle to the end zone. Blake the Great, touchdown, Wolverine.
Just to wrap this up, what we're looking at then is Michigan heading to the Big Ten Championship. Ohio State, well, according to that one article, has been dropped out of the top 25, even though the very first sentence of the article says they moved down to number 6. People, get some editors, man. Just get an editor.
Who was that? Buckeyes or Buckeye?
Yeah, it was
Wire on
Buckeye
Fan
Wire
Now or
on Fan Nation or something.
Fan Nation. Okay.
Yeah, they need some quality control down there.
Yep.
So Iowa State is sitting out, waiting to figure out where they're going. They shouldn't be going to the playoffs, from what I understand, but I did see somebody trying to make the case that they will be. But we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Michigan, of course, has to beat Iowa to stay in the playoffs. But as we said in Big Ten chatter, it looks like that shouldn't be a problem. This is going to be another fun weekend, I think, to see. What was the other one? Alabama and
Georgia.
Georgia are playing in the SEC championship.
Yeah.
If Alabama, so that's where the chaos could end up. If Alabama beats Georgia, then you've got some major chaos in the playoff standings.
Mhm.
That'll be fun to watch. So games to watch this weekend, the Big Ten Championship and the SEC Championship, which are now super conferences.
Yes.
Yeah. Super conference. I think that's going to do it for Michigan chatter. Anything else you want to add to that, Mac?
Edwards, they pitch it to him. Edwards wants to throw it. Wide open. He's got his man.
Go blue. Back to back to back.
The three-peat. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you made it this far, we thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to comment. Let us know what you think about how things are going at Michigan. And maybe pop your score into the Big Ten chatter video, which I forgot to mention before. But you could do it now, even so. Mac, before I blabber on anymore, take us out.
All right. Have mercy on us. This is Michigan chatter on Big Ten team rivalry.
Mercy.
McCord looks, fires, intercepted. Rod Moore, and Michigan will win the game.
Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend watching football. Have fun watching football. Remember, #make football fun again. If you like what you saw, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. This is Big Ten Team Rivalry.